Hi, it's Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Does that image look familiar to you? That's my super sweet Cubs hat that I picked up a couple years ago. Old school West Side Ground Chicago Cubs. Chicago, Illinois Cubs. Illinois. There's some more detailed Cub Bears there. And it's one of those Cooperstown collections. So pretty sweet. 5950 Cubbies. Alright, so for this today, along with my Andre Dawson t-shirt, old school Cubs with the same logo, well, the logo with the C, like my old style classics baseball cards logo. And so went to the card shop today, picked up some stuff. Gonna show you what we got. Love my Cubbies, and honor of baseball season coming up in about a week. And can't wait. Cubs aren't doing too good in spring training, but that really doesn't mean a whole lot. But there it is. I love those logos. And ready for baseball now that the college basketball is over for me, with my Lobos losing to Clemson yesterday. So, and as previously mentioned, got me an eBay today in the mail. So I got one that came in from Boulder Springs. What is that? CL? Oh, Nevada. Alright, so Reno. So just up the road, I reckon. So we got this. And just show you a few other things that we picked up. Got a couple more of these. Got some cards. Picked up a few more Allen Ginter retail just because I wanted to open a mini today. This might be pertinent. So we'll see what else we open. Got some singles and some binder sheets, some special sized binder sheets for special card I got coming up. This, thanks to Aiden over there at Stevens Creek Sports Card. Let me grab this poster from them out of the window there. Guy in Sunnyvale said I could have the same poster from their store, but I'd have to wait till the run of these cards were done. And then I brought it up to the other guy at the other store, and he's like, yeah, go ahead and take it. And he's like, do you want a Series 1 poster as well? And I was like, no, not really. I don't really care too much about flagship. So I passed on that, but I couldn't pass on that poster. And it's going to have something to do with this. So at some point in time, I'm going to have to do some new style classics hockey cards on old style classics baseball cards. As you can see there, 2023-24 hockey series 2 with bonus packs. This is the 10. So see who that is, the best prospect, and well, not even prospect, rookie for my Chicago Blackhawks, or my team, I should say. The team I root for is my Chicago Blackhawks. That is Connor Bernard. And he's a big deal right now. His cards are pretty hard to come by. Grabbed the last of these tins. They had Blaster, a Mega Box, and a Hobby Box. I wasn't going to shout out for the Hobby Box, but he said that you've been getting about 4 Young Guns out of these tins. So aside from the other thing I have to show you when I do this, even if I don't pull his card, at least I have a tin with him on there. So that's pretty collectible someday down the line. Exclusive 3-card Dazzlers bonus pack inside. So don't really do hockey I love hockey, don't get me wrong. I love watching hockey and going to hockey. It's kind of funny though. I've always had more fun at minor league hockey games than at the NHL. But I guess the only NHL I've been to here is at San Jose for the Sharks. But you're kind of compartmentalized in your little square of seats that they have, the way this Shark Tank's set up. And it doesn't lend itself to interacting with other people like you might get at minor league hockey. Minor league hockey, they try a little harder to keep it entertaining, in my opinion. Miss the New Mexico Scorpions, used to watch them. The Western Professional Hockey League, then moved up to the Central Hockey League, then got run out of town by the mayor who wanted to get an AHL team in a new stadium. Of course, that never happened. They moved to Rio Rancho, about 15, 20 miles out of town, and nobody went. It's too far. Alright, so maybe we'll get to that tomorrow. So let's get to it, people. Let's see, should I show you my pickups first, or should I show you my eBay? I'm going to do the pickups today first. Now, I told the story about when I was in middle school. This guy was supposed to come to our school to meet with the kids. Maybe sign autographs and all that. Of course, I didn't have any cards of him. But I tried to get a ball. Maybe I did have a ball. Maybe that's the one I ended up getting signed by Bob Gibson. But nevertheless, he had to cancel and couldn't show up. And I've never had one of his cards that I know about. And I've been wanting to get one. Now I want to get a Playing Days card of him. And you could argue he really doesn't have the major league numbers for getting in the Hall of Fame. But I don't know if he played in the Negro Leagues or not. But he does have a good career. So he's possibly could get in the Hall of Fame someday, especially if he did play in the Negro Leagues. But that is Don Newcombe. So I always wanted to pick me up a Don Newcombe card. Oh, let me adjust this camera again here. Sorry about that. So Don Newcombe, this is a 2002 Topps something or other. But you look at that record, he had some 20 win seasons, 149 wins, 90 losses, 3.56 career ERA. So like I said, it depends whether he did play in the Negro Leagues or not. You can read about him there if you want to pause that. So I've been wanting to get me a Don Newcombe card forever. Just never think about it when I'm somewhere. And mostly because he was supposed to show up at our middle school that one year. But I saw this in the dollar box. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to grab it just so I can have at least something of him. And that is Super Teams. Top Super Teams 1955. So I don't know if that was an insert way back then. It's a nice looking card though. Pretty decently centered there. Not that it's playing career card or anything like that, but it is a nice card. Don Newcombe, a really good pitcher. So I'm not a Dodgers fan by any means, but once I learned that he might be coming to our school, did some research back in the pre-internet days about Don Newcombe, found out a lot about him back then, and I've always liked him ever since. So it's kind of funny what things will trigger you to like somebody when you're a kid. So there we go. I got a Don Newcombe now, at least something. I might have something of him in some of my oddball stuff that I just haven't looked at. Maybe he's in that candy team, candy star team, whatever. Yeah, I can't wait to get to that set. Alright, then next I wanted to do some old style classics baseball cards. And now if you remember a couple weeks ago I picked up that Yogi Berra Relic card, and who was it? Was it Pasednik? It was somebody from the Yankees, I think. Or anyways, I got a Cracker Jack relic card from that one set of Cracker Jack cards, and then I saw this one sitting there, and it was pretty cheap. So, and of course, I get a deal on it. So this is a 2004 Troy Glaus. Now, it doesn't really advertise Cracker Jack anywhere until you get down to here, you know. So this might be like the second year or something they did these Cracker Jack cards. I don't know. But I like the size because this is the size of the original 1914-15 Cracker Jack cards. So don't get these confused with the cards that you actually get in Cracker Jack after 1915. You know, the minis and the micro cards and all that. Like the stamp style ones and all that. Now this is a Topps set. You know, an actual hobby boxes and all that you can buy from Topps. And they did advertise some of the cards that came with Cracker Jack, which can't wait to do that video for you guys. But this is an actual like hobby set and like a traditional set of cards, like Allen and Ginter or Gypsy Queen or Flagship or Archives, those kind of things. So I'm guessing they did this for a couple years. So you can read that out. Read about that if you like to pause. Not as good looking as the other ones, but still kind of neat. Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Troy Glaus, Anaheim. Just a napkin relic, but it was pretty cheap. It was listed as $8, but of course I got it for a lot less. I think he actually threw in that Don Newcombe card on top of getting me the discount. So that's sweet. Let's give old Troy. It was a pretty big name for a while there. I just wanted to have another one because it's a different year. I saw some other guys that were more expensive in the same style that I think they were Yankees or something. Wasn't something I was into. I just wanted to have one. See, it's not just Allen Ginter. I like other old style classic baseball cards, and that qualifies in my book as an old style. So that's sweet. I'm happy to add that to my collection. Alright, the next. Alright. Now, I did get some blasters, I believe, back in the day of or no, maybe in LA. I think in LA they had a hobby box with like 9 packs or something still in it. They were selling single packs of Topps 205, and I'd gotten Topps 206 before. And so I do have some, like a handful, like 9 packs, 5, 6, 7, 9 packs or something like that. Topps 205 that I believe I picked up there in LA, kind of in between Venice and the airport, somewhere over there. And then I seen these sitting there, and they're a little value box or whatever. So I believe that's Leiter, who was a big chase back in like 80 or late 80s. I want to say his rookie card was in 87. Like the Flair one was a big deal. But anyways, I don't think I had any relics. If I do, maybe only one. Maybe I have an autograph, I'm not sure, of the Topps 205. So he's a name I know. Not a huge fan of them doing the sideways on the pinstripes here, but for the Mets. Yeah. And see, that says $8, but I'm sure I paid like $7, maybe a little less. I don't know. Have to look at the receipt. But nevertheless, he was a name from when we were kids. If you're in my age range, from the 80s, who was a big chase card, and that's kind of cool. He's a good pitcher. So there we go. That's an Leiter. All right, let me get my. I believe these are 2003. So the 206 and 2003. So the Topps 206, Topps 205 has gone through multiple iterations, I guess. I believe they did like 2002 or 2001, something like that. The original Topps 206, which was a full card set. And then you got a mini in it, just like you do in Allen & Ginter. And then they would have these framed autographs. So this is even years before Allen & Ginter came out. So they were already playing around with the mini tobacco cards. And I think one of the hits that you can get in these was a buyback T205 card that were the 101s. So even 4 or 5 years before Allen & Ginter ever came out, they're already toying around with these minis. And as you can see, the mini frame. But the full-size cards just didn't look as good. Kind of a little weird, but the minis always looked cool. So I think they did like 206 like for 2 years, then the 205, then they went away for like 8 years. After Allen & Ginter's success, they brought Topps 206 back for a couple years, I believe. And then they had like National Chicle, and that wasn't going anywhere. And the 206s weren't super successful, I'm imagining. So they went away again, and then Gypsy Queen came out, and that was pretty successful for a while there. And then now they've come back with the 206s, but just the minis. So you can just online exclusive the minis, which are the ones that people like. And to be honest with you, these Topps 205 ones look a lot better, I think, than most of those 206s, the Topps. So that's cool. Gold card. Back in the day when they used to show you the back of the relic as well. Just the tiny little thing glued in there, I reckon. So that's pretty neat. Old style classic baseball card. Leiter. So, God, you know, think about that, people. That's 21 years ago. And to me, it just seems like 5 or 6 years ago. And since I saw that, I went ahead and picked up a cubby. Aramis Ramirez. So, he was a big part of our team for a while there. And a troublemaker occasionally, but he was still a solid player on some what turned out to be some not the best Chicago Cubs teams, but he did have some success. If this is 2003, so this would have been the year they lost, I believe, to Atlanta. So they actually went to the playoffs this year and lost to Atlanta. I remember the night they got beaten by Atlanta to not move on in the playoffs. I was moving from my mom's into Albuquerque to start going back to school or something like that. And that night I got pulled over in my mom's van because he said I was speeding, but the speed limit sign said 65. He said I was doing 65 and a 55 because there was construction supposedly. But then when I went back and looked at the sign, it said 65, so they tore the thing off that had it covered up. But anyways, he's like, oh, do you want to just pay the ticket or do you want to go to court? And I said, I'll go to court. And so they made me go to court like 60 miles out of town in Moriarty. And the cop never showed up, so I got out of that ticket. But I was already with picture and all that. But I remember that night that they lost that game. So that's why I remember this distinctly, because I got pulled over because I had the van. I was borrowing her van filled with stuffs because I was moving. And so he's like, oh, do you have insurance? And I was like, well, it's my mom's car, but it's all covered up because I had the front seat full of stuff. And he's like, don't worry about it. I'm sure she does. Anyways, but at least he didn't show up, so I didn't have to pay that ticket, but I did have to take a day off work and drive all that way out there and spin the gas. So, anyways, long story short, there's an Aramis Ramirez bat relic, and I'm sure it didn't cost that either. So that's pretty neat. You get to see what the back looks like on those relics. So that's pretty cool. Alright, then of course I'm a sucker for Allen & Ginter, so I had to pick up a few. So I don't know if I have a Yordan Alvarez, this 2022 relic, but he's a solid player. He's like way underrepresented in the hobby. He's just epically really good offensive numbers for Yordan there. So I like Yordan. See, I do like some of the Astros. And then these relic cards from 2022 are just beautiful. I love that design, the little circle thing going on there. Like I said before, it reminds me of the code cards from the early editions of Allen & Ginter way back when. Some of the regular base cards had a similar design on it. I think it was a red herring for the code breaker that they used to do. But nevertheless, there's some game used memorabilia of Yordan, and I'm plenty happy to have that. So pretty standard on the back. That's cool. My buddy George Herbert Walker Bush over there thinks it's prudent to get Yordan Alvarez cards. He's a solid player. Solid. Watch him play and it's 1,000,000 points of light. Alright. Then they had this one sitting there, and well, he just made the Hall of Fame, so why not pick him up? A relic card of Todd Helton for the Colorado Rockies. Same thing, 2022 Allen & Ginter. And that's pretty sweet. So, Hall of Famer, soon to be inducted in a couple months. Voted into the Hall of Fame, I should say. Look at that, $5. Granted, it's not a playing days card, but still, I think I probably paid $4. So that's sweet. I'm glad to have that in my collection, Hall of Famer. And speaking of Hall of Famers, I saw this one, and I've never seen one of these ones before. I have some Cooperstown collection autograph cards, but most specifically to 2013. So let's see, what year is this one? 2015, so I guess it lasted a few years. And I picked up the Whitey Herzog autograph, Hall of Famer, Cardinals mostly, manager Whitey Herzog. And that's kind of cool, the little silver one, a little different than the other ones. Nice clear autograph there for the Cooperstown Panini collection. Those are cool cards. I like the 2013s because they had the Colgan disc reimagined ones in there. You can go back and watch my videos showing some of those. Always hunting that Dawson Colgan disc. Still to this day, never pulled one myself. I had to buy it off of eBay. But there you go, Hall of Famer Whitey Herzog. And look at that price. Then you know I'm getting a discount on that. So pick up a Hall of Famer for like $9. Now, why in the world, as a Cubs fan, would I buy a St. Louis Cardinals manager Hall of Famer? Especially when they tore up the Cubs back in the day. Oh, that's cool, number 49. Didn't notice that. That's related to why I got this card. So Andre Dawson in '87 hit 49 home runs for the MVP. And Andre Dawson went into the Hall of Fame in 2010. So Whitey Herzog was one of the other people who went in the Hall of Fame with Andre. I believe Andre was the only player that made it in that year. Whitey Herzog, and I can't remember who else, somebody from the media, I believe. So that goes right along with my PC in the sense that here's another guy that went in the Hall of Fame with Andre. So they both got to speak. And I know he talked about Andre, I believe, during his speech about how Andre used to hit home runs off his team. So he's glad he wasn't doing that to him anymore. But yeah, Whitey was a good manager. The Cardinals had a lot of success during his time. You can read about him there. He's got a beautiful signature, so look at that. He had a World Series in 1982 with the Cardinals. So that's pretty sweet. And it's one that I've never seen before. I've never seen these silver ones. So normally when you buy a hobby box well, I know when you buy a hobby box, you get one autograph from these Hall of Famers, and it's usually going to be like him and Bruce Sutter and stuff like that. And then I actually almost bought a Bruce Sutter autograph today, but it was like 20, and I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to pay 18, and I was like, I can wait on that. Now I should get it because he's got the same spelling as my last name, but my name we call her Sutter, but he goes by Sutter because I think he's French Canadian. And rest in peace to Bruce. But I'm like, I could always get that some other day. And I got a couple Goose Gossages, the Toronto executive who made the Hall of Fame, one of the umpires, and somebody else, can't remember. But that's sweet for that little bit of money to add a Hall of Famer into my autograph collection. That's pretty sweet. It's not like I'm trying to do what a lot of you other guys are doing, which is trying to get an autographed version of every Hall of Famer, and I think that's a really cool goal. But you know, and that's not what I'm trying to do. If I come across one that's reasonable and something, yeah, I'll pick it up. I try to get some, but to me it doesn't really matter if it's Whitey Herzog or Goose Gossage or the umpire. I mean, of course, I'd rather have Stan Musial and Willie Mays and all that, like everyone else, but I think it's neat to add that in there because I love baseball. And even though I don't like the Cardinals, I can still respect them. And this guy was a solid competition. He outsmarted our team a lot. Alright, that's it for the singles, folks, so let's get to the eBay. Once again, this is from Reno, Nevada, from George. Thank you, George. Shout out to you. I won't say your last name, but I'm sure people saw it. Alright, one of these beautiful. I love it when they do this. No packing tape to try to tear off. I have a good idea what kind of card this probably is, but I'm not 100% sure. So I did order some numerous cards from eBay last week, so this one got here pretty quick, along with that one from Hawaii. Alright, yep, this is one of the ones that I thought was cool. And so, as you guys know, I like old style classic baseball cards. Just, you know, the style has to be old. And Andre Dawson, obviously. Alright, so cover that up. Thank you, Robert, from, it's like George. Well, thank you, George, and now I have your autograph. So I guess I picked up another autograph today. Anyways, I love Allen and Ginter. I like Gypsy Queen. I just showed you those T2 Topps 205s. You know, those are the kind of cards I like. Other than my PC guy, you guys should know the kind of card that I prefer, though. And one of the reasons I really like old style classic baseball cards, even though they're new cards, is my favorite kind of card to collect is mini tobacco cards. And obviously, as a Cub fan, I'm always a big fan of Greg Maddux, so I picked this one up because I really don't have a lot of Panini Diamond King minis. They were more of a kind of harder to get than, let's say, Upper Deck. Obviously, with Allen and Ginter and Gypsy Queen and like Topps 206, 205, you got a mini in every pack. Same thing with Upper Deck Goodwin Champions when they still did it. Now, as time went on with Upper Deck, they started to give you like one every 5 packs, and then it became like one every now and then as like a hit. I think that's pretty much what Panini did with their minis, except for Golden Age. Like Golden Age, you get a mini in every one, but like the Diamond Kings, I feel like early on you got a mini in every pack, but after a while it became few and far between. The mini was more like the pure short print. you know, like one every 6 packs, like one a blaster or something like that. And then I think as more time went on, they became more like a hit. So I don't have a whole lot of Panini minis except for the Golden Age, which I like those cards too. But I like Diamond Kings back in the day when they still had at least the player's license and stuff. So as you can see there, this is number 237, which is an interesting number for me because that's the freeway down the road over there. There, kind of between 101 and 237 is where Levi Stadium is. If you take 237, if you want to go to Oakland, unless you take 880, well, 237 to 880, but nevertheless, that's interesting. 89 of 99. 1989 still played for McCubbies. But this, when I saw this, I just started. I was looking for an Andre Dawson minis from Diamond Kings, but I never found one, and I don't think he has one. If he does, somebody let me know. I guess now's the time to ask you to subscribe, leave a comment, like, all that stuff, so my videos can get out to other people who like this kind of stuff. If you guys wouldn't mind. Kind of stalled out on the subscribers. I guess my videos are too long. But nevertheless, I was looking for Dawson, couldn't find him, but I came across some of these, and just they have some beautiful minis. And it's not that the card is like super spectacular. They're nice. It's the relic. The fact that they put these little relics in these ones. They're numbered, which is cool. Obviously, got to get over the fact that there's no logos, but like they really, on some of those cards, went above and beyond with the type of relic they have. And so this is an example. Now this is probably one of the more blander ones that I've ordered. But look at that design in there. So that's some kind of special fabric that they wore for something or other. So obviously that's Greg Maddux as a Brave. No logo, but still cool cards. It kind of cross between old-fashioned and modern. Actually, that design in the background kind of reminds me of some of the King Bee discs. After they got a little fancier after like 4 years of doing those, they kind of had electric and some kind of like fire or design like that in the background. But I was just blown away by the fabric that they use. So they really did a good job, choosing the fabric that they use for these relics. I'm just blown away by that. And let's see what this has to say here. Bear with me a minute. Panini America is in no way affiliated with Major League Baseball, Major League Properties, blah blah blah. Okay, endorsement. The enclosed game used material is guaranteed by Panini American 2015 Panini. So it says right there if you can read it. That's game used. So at some point in time, the Braves had some kind of jersey made or something, or pants or something made with this. Maybe it's his undershirt there. I don't know. That's pretty sweet. Because he has got some gray on. Or is that no, that might just be his sleeve. So nevertheless, that is super cool, people. I really dig that. I like relics. Obviously, you'd want to get an autograph, but I think that's super sweet, and I'm glad to have that. And that's why I said that would lead into this that I picked up today. I don't know if they do minis in here or not. I'm pretty sure they don't, unless maybe it would be a hit. So we'll have to take a look at that. So I'm going to let you pause that if you want to see if it says anything there. But we're not going to do that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video there, get this up and going, and then I'll do a second video where I do that box, and then maybe open some of that other stuff. Alright, thanks everybody for watching Old Style Classics baseball cards. It's 11:59 p.m. So March 23rd. So let's stop this before midnight.